Good morning. Welcome to the Bearded Bama Bushcrafter. Trying to smile, but I'm frustrated. It's Friday morning. Kind of overcast, but it's a nice morning. I'm turkey hunting. I guess I'm turkey hunting. I don't know what I'm hunting. Public land kind of sucks, I'm going to be honest with you. I got down here this morning and no birds, nothing as far as turkeys go. About 9:30, a woodpecker, pileated, one of those big black and white ones with the crest on its head, peeled off the noise, and a gobbler hammered one time. I'm within 100 yards, so I set up, started calling. He wouldn't respond. Typical of public land birds, because I don't know how many people. I know this. I see tracks of other hunters, and that's public land. I'm not complaining. Well, I guess I am complaining. Who knows? Just frustrated. That bird never responded to me. And I heard him again. There's a creek right here. I had crossed it. And then I heard him all choppy. It actually sounded like a jake, so that was it. That's been an hour ago. So I'm walking and I'm looking at stuff, and I got to thinking about what's in these woods. There are signs of all kind of creatures here. Mainly so right here along this area. There's hog signs. It's everywhere. There's coon tracks in the creek. I see a few turkey tracks. I see where other people have been in here. There's deer tracks. Haven't seen any bobcat, but they're probably in here too. Cats move lightly, so. Speaking of bobcat, that may be one right there. There's plenty of hog sign in here. I'm gonna ease on back up this fire break. This is probably my last day for turkey hunting. We got 2 more days, but I'm so frustrated with it. Oh, I'm so frustrated, but man, let me just get my mind off the frustration. Look how beautiful it is in here. It is beautiful. Look at that big old ridge up there behind me. Beautiful. I'm gonna walk up on this big hog waller again. One of my earlier videos where I ran up on that herd of hogs while I was down here. I'm back in that same area this morning. And I'm gonna tell you what, these jokers love this hog waller. Look at this thing right here. Look at that. Yeah, man, I'm telling you what, they're in the mud bath here. All over trees, going down through the woods there, and hogs of all different sizes. Let me get in and kind of give it some scale. I covered a large piece of ground this morning. I have not seen any unusual sign. I know there's biologists that work down here. I'm on Barber County Management Area here in Alabama. This is a wildlife management area, and it is one of the larger ones here in the state. It's almost right at 30,000 acres of public land. And here after turkey season closes up, this area is kind of closed. Well, it's not kinda, it is closed. The road's closed until first part of September before you start coming back down here again. And during time it's open, bow season is probably your most free time, but when rifle season opens up, the laws, rules get a little more, I guess the word's a little more tight, a little more stringent for you. Didn't hear any weird sounds down here. I wonder what's roaming down through these woods. I have been looking at the BFRO and I think it's called the GFRO, which is the Gulf Coast. They're the Bigfoot sightings webpage. And there have been sightings of Bigfoot all over this area for quite a amount of time. I was reading an article, and I think one of the earliest sightings was just after the Civil War. I think it was in 1870, down in Evergreen, Alabama. Which Evergreen, Alabama, the city council got together a few years ago, and they are now considered the Bigfoot capital. I can't say of the world, but I think of the state for sure. That's what they named Evergreen, Alabama, because there have been so many sightings of Bigfoot down there. I'm going to tell you something. If there was ever a chance to sight a creature like a Bigfoot, this would probably be high up on the list of seeing something like that. I was thinking earlier, well, I was thinking of actually talking to the biologist down here. I've tried to talk to some of the biologists and get a feel of things, and I believe there's a new head biologist down here now, which I have not met. But the other biologists, you know, people get in cliques, and people have we all have our own agendas. And a lot of times our agenda is different than the next person, and so on and so on and so on. And just kind of stopping sometimes at the headquarters, they call it, and talking. A lot of times people just seem like you're not worth their time to talk to. And that's sad. But you get that a lot with people. And I know we're all like that at times, but there are people in positions that sometimes I wonder why are they in this position. And maybe I can meet the new biologist. It'd be cool to actually talk to them and just ask them some questions and see what they'd be willing to talk about. You know, thinking about Bigfoot, there's supposedly physical evidence, but yet people want to say this creature can go through different levels of, man, I can't think of the word. Give me just a minute. Okay, I did not look it up, but it finally came to me. Dimensions, different dimensions. They can travel through however many different dimensions. I believe there are 3 dimensions. And I get this belief from the Bible. And it talks about heaven, the third heaven. I believe that there's a physical dimension, a spiritual dimension, and then the dimension of heaven itself, which I believe is a mixture of spirit and physical things. And I can be so wrong on that. I do my best not to make out of the Bible my own interpretation. And I am not a theologian. I am not a graduate of some Bible college, but I do study the Bible. And I try to take the Bible as it is supposed to be taken. Literally. And you're not supposed to add to it. You're not supposed to take away from it. But the Bible does talk about the third heaven. It talks about a spiritual realm, and it talks about a physical earth. Holy crap, I just thought I walked up on a snake. That gave me a little scare. That vine right there. Man, always a snake. You know, I'm not terribly afraid of snakes, but when I'm surprised by one, that little surge of adrenaline really just boom, hits your system. So anyway, getting back to Bigfoot, I've noticed that people, the reason we're not finding Bigfoot is because they can transfer through all these dimensions. They don't stay in just one dimension. They can go from dimension to dimension, however many dimensions some people believe there are. I know when you start getting into Bigfoot stories and alien stories and paranormal stories, man, you can go down a rabbit hole, and it can just really be like, whoo, need to be on some of that stuff that Lewis Carroll was on when he wrote Alice in Wonderland. I kind of hope these videos give you an idea of some of these areas. Look how this is a large area, and to really think about a creature, because let's think about hogs for a minute. Hogs can 200-300 pounds. And in some places, I think they've gotten bigger in the wild. I think 400 pounds. They had a story, which I don't know. You hear so much about them being hoaxes. But 15, 20 years ago, South Georgia, Hogzilla. Y'all check that out. But I think that story had some false parts to it. But anyway, hogs can get big, and hogs eat a lot, and they can cover a large amount of area. So if you think of a creature, an animal that is anywhere that the Bigfoot's been reported to been of anything from 4 to 5 feet to 10 to 15 feet tall, weighing 300 to 400 pounds, in excess of 12 to 1,400 pounds. That's a big creature. So then people start saying, well, it comes through dimensions, so that's why it's hard to see, get caught on pictures. That's why it's hard to film. That's why none have ever been caught. But then people post things of this evidence, and there's, like I said in that video that I posted about Bigfoot the other day, some of those things, there's only a few of them that really make me think and believe that there is a possibility. Well, I do believe there is a possibility of some unknown North American primate that science doesn't know about. But I just wonder, why hasn't one, well, let me get back to this, I'm about to say, why hasn't one been captured? I have read stories of where these, wow man, a bug just flew in my eye. Stand by. Boy, that's a lot of fun. The article I read the other day, that was from South Alabama, I believe in the 1870s. It was 1870. There was a report of this creature that was caught, and then later on, believed, as the description talked about, it wasn't a very big one. It was, I think, about 6 feet tall, and just a couple hundred pounds. But it was hairy. So hairy all over, and it walked upright like a person. So what does that make you think it is? A Bigfoot. Dave Shealy, down in Ochope, Florida, I've got a little book that he wrote, and in that book, it was about the skunk ape there in Florida. And the skunk ape is a smaller version of a Bigfoot, and supposedly more aggressive than the Pacific Northwest Bigfoot, which there's stories of dangerous tribes of Bigfoot in the Pacific Northwest, thinking the Shasta mountain range. Uh-oh, hold on just a second. There's a sound over that way, and I hear it from time to time when I'm in the woods. It's up high, so it's in a tree. I don't know what it is. I think it's some kind of a bird. I don't know what everything that's here. But the skunk ape of Florida, Shealy wrote in his book, he said there was only like 8 or 12 of those things. but he's claimed to have had footage of one. And you just have to look that up. I think it came out about 20 years ago. And there were some other things in the book that kind of I would like to talk to him about and just ask him some questions on how he arrived to what he was saying. That's how we learn, people. You know, you get out and you ask questions. I guess in a sense, they say research. And then research is, you know, just making notes, studying things that already exist, looking at things from the past, things that are here now. And you make these educated guesses. What do they call those? Man, my mind is all over the place again. I was telling one of my buddies, I think I need to be medicated because my mind is just like, I don't know. It's not a one-way track. Mine's got tracks coming in and out. Game trails going everywhere. But you know, just kind of get back on this. Sometimes when people are out doing what I'm doing is when they have an encounter of, it can be anything. It could be a deer, it could be a moose, an elk if you're in those areas where those animals live. It could be a grizzly bear. It can be all, and then this can be things that cannot be unexplained. That cannot be explained, that are unexplainable, that sometimes people film. I'm out here in the woods quite a bit. Not as much as I'd like to be. And most of the time I am by myself. I don't have the luxury of having friends that can get out and we can do this. But it would be nice to have others and get out and do this more often, you know, hunt. Used to do that a lot, especially when my dad was alive. And my younger days had a closer circle of friends that we hunted with. And, you know, life got, you know, you kind of go separate ways and other people come in your life and others go out. And that's just how life is, you know. But right now, a lot of my adventures are out here soloing it. Well, I've made it back to my truck. That's a pretty good walk back down in there. That is a beautiful creek bottom. I'd like to get down here and explore. It would be so cool to find some footprints like I've seen people find and seen on film. And some of those, man, they sure are convincing. But then sometimes I wonder why is only, you know, you're only seeing one footprint. Because most of the time when you observe and you see tracks, you're going to see, if you're in an area like this, you're going to find more than just one track. Now when you're in the woods and you're walking through stuff like that right there, you still are leaving a sign, but it is much harder to detect. You're walking past things, you're brushing against things, snapping twigs, you're bending. You know, if I walk here and I step on that, you know, I've left an impression of that. There's subtle differences. You know, you're going to leave sign behind you. Man, these mosquitoes. If I was a mosquito hunter, I'd be busy. Well, I'm fixing to, I don't know what I'm going to do. I got some projects at the house I got to finish up. Those are never ending. Things I want to do, the time for it just doesn't really seem to exist. So anyway, just kind of had some thoughts here this morning as I was walking around trying to hear a turkey or actually get a turkey. Turkey dinners, wild turkey. Man, that's some good eating. It's good. Makes a yummy, yummy meal. It's Friday. I don't know what's ahead for me. Gonna get into something, hopefully. Hope something fun. And who knows? Maybe be able to make another video here real soon. And I do have a video I want to do And I have a friend that I'm going to get with, and we're going to talk about something that he had an experience with when he was a little boy. So hopefully that's coming up real soon. All right, everybody, I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my videos. Appreciate your comments. Go on and hit that like button, and if you're not a subscriber to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you go on and subscribe too. So y'all take it easy, and see you later.